All right, let's dive into a really fascinating story that's playing out in California right now. At the center of it all is our hero, a mission-driven nonprofit that's using the incredible power of AI to do more good than ever. But, every great story needs a little conflict, and this one comes in the form of some brand new, really complex state laws. So how does our hero navigate this tricky new world? Well, let's find out.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll talk about the amazing promise AI holds for nonprofits. Then, we'll get into the tough new challenge that California has thrown their way. After that, we'll look at a free assessment that's being offered, see what that actually delivers, and finally, touch on what else is part of that conversation.
All right, let's set the scene and meet our protagonist. Just picture a California nonprofit, totally dedicated to its cause, standing right on the edge of a completely new era. An era where they can amplify their impact in ways they've only dreamed of. And it's all thanks to artificial intelligence.
And this is what's really at stake here. I mean, imagine a food bank using AI to figure out the most efficient delivery routes to get food where it's needed most. Or a literacy program using AI to create learning plans that are perfect for each individual student. It's not just a fancy new gadget, it's a genuine mission amplifier. It helps these incredible organizations work better, faster, and have a much, much bigger impact. But right when our hero is really starting to get going, this huge new obstacle pops up. It's not some cartoon villain, but it's almost as intimidating. It's a complicated, constantly changing maze of state regulations all aimed at AI. We're talking about rules tied into things like the California Privacy Rights Act, and it's a lot.
And yeah, the wording here really tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? When you see words like urgent, evolving, and action now, you know this isn't some problem for way down the road. For any nonprofit in California that's using AI, the clock is officially ticking. This legal maze has basically sprung up all around them, and they have to figure out how to get through it, like yesterday.
This slide just lays out the dilemma perfectly. On one side, you've got all that amazing potential we were just talking about, the reason you'd want to use AI in the first place. But on the other side, the risks are, well, they're huge. We're talking about costly penalties that could cripple an organization, major operational headaches, and maybe the worst thing of all for a nonprofit, losing the trust of your donors in the community you serve. It's a real balancing act.
You know, in any good story, when the hero gets stuck in a maze they can't solve, a guide usually shows up to help. And in our story, that guide appears in the form of a free compliance assessment, something that promises to show a clear path right through all that confusion.
So here's the key thing. This guide isn't just some general consultant. They're a specialist, a California certified AI compliance officer. What that means is they've gone through very specific training on California's unique, complex laws around AI, and they know how to apply that knowledge directly to a nonprofit's very specific mission.
And this is exactly why this guide is so helpful for our nonprofit hero. The help is customized because they get that a small arts organization has totally different needs than a big health clinic. It's no cost, which is huge because it removes that financial barrier. And it's fully remote, which means the nonprofit doesn't have to stop its vital on-the-ground work just to get this critical guidance.
Okay, so we've met the guide, but what do they actually give you? What's in the box, so to speak? Let's look at the actual roadmap they provide to get you to safety and compliance.
Well, first off, the process itself is designed for a busy nonprofit. There are no complicated new systems you have to learn. The whole thing happens through secure documents and simple video calls. It keeps everything straightforward, confidential, and really accessible.
And this is the treasure at the center of the maze. The guide doesn't just give you a map, they give you a full toolkit. They look at everything you're doing, pinpoint exactly where the risks are, and then give you a clear, practical, prioritized list of what to do next. And maybe most importantly, they give you audit-ready documentation, which is basically a shield. It's the paperwork you need to prove you're doing everything right if a regulator ever shows up.
Now, just to tell the whole story here, it's important to understand the full conversation that our nonprofit has with this guy. That initial roadmap we just talked about is completely free, but the journey doesn't always have to stop there.
This table breaks it down really nicely. Over on the left, that's the free package. The whole assessment, the recommendations, the documentation, everything. Then on the right, you can see what else might come up in conversation. Things like optional, donation-based services if you want ongoing support, or even the chance for someone at the nonprofit to get certified themselves.
And this is a really important final point about our guide. They get it. They know a lot of nonprofits are running on incredibly tight budgets.
So for any organization that can't afford potential retail costs for extra help, there's a public benefit program to provide that support at a reduced fee, or in some cases, for free. The Guide's mission is to help no matter what.
So, our nonprofit hero now has a clear path forward. They've found their way out of the maze. But their journey leaves us with a much bigger question, one that all of us have to think about in this new age of AI. It really comes down to balance. As we all rush to embrace these powerful new tools to innovate and do amazing things, how do we make absolutely sure that we're also strengthening and never ever breaking the fundamental public trust that makes all of that work possible in the first place? That's the real challenge ahead for all of us.